Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be having Daryl Scott do an overview and demo of the new ARC Agency Accreditation tool. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Hi, I'm Judy Howard, Manager of Customer Experience here at ARC, and I'm joined, next slide, and I'm joined with my colleagues. Like I said, Daryl Scott, most of you probably know him. He is our instructional designer and trainer here at ARC, and he's going to be doing the majority of this presentation and the demo today. And I also have joined with our other fellow colleagues, Marvi Dupay, and she's our accreditation lead, and she and Stacy Hill, our senior accreditation consultant, are going to be fielding all of your questions throughout this presentation today. They'll be answering some, Daryl will be answering some, but between the three of them, they'll get to hopefully all the questions that you have asked. And I'm going to pause to just do a little housekeeping. We're going to be muted through this whole presentation. We encourage you, however, to ask all of your questions, and you do that by going over to the right-hand side of your screen to the control panel and just submit your questions through there. And Daryl will be pausing periodically throughout the next hour, and Stacy and Marvi will be asking him questions at those times, and then at the end we'll try to get to all of them. If we don't, however, we will address those ones that we didn't get to individually. This session will also be recorded, and that will be located on our ARC Corp site under Training on Webinars on Demand. So without further ado, Daryl, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Judy, and welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us to hear about the new ARC accreditation tool. So the ARC Agency Accreditation tool has gone through a transformation. It is now here. It is available. So are you ready for it? And are you using it? So during this webinar, we're going to learn what is the ARC accreditation tool, provide you with a history of the tool and how we got here, explain why the tool has been transformed, talk about the benefits and key functions, and then best of all, have a firsthand look at the tool. I'm going to actually walk you through the tool. So the accreditation tool is a tool that's used by ARC participating agencies that provides access to agency change requests that can be submitted to ARC on behalf of the agency. And these change requests are bank account changes, personnel changes, ownership changes, to name a few. And most of these change requests are in an electronic format. So just to give you a history of the change request and the accreditation tool, some of you who have been ARC participants for a while may remember that change requests actually started as a paper format, and they were called agency applications. And basically, when you needed to make a change in regards to your agency, you had to fill out the paper application, either handwrite it or type it, and you actually had to mail or fax it to ARC. And this was a very tedious process, and it could be time-consuming depending on the change that was requested. So to make the process a little bit easier, ARC decided to convert the paper applications into a writable PDF. And this way you can actually download the application from ARC's corporate website to your computer and actually fill it out through your computer and email it to ARC or fax it if you wanted to. Now, this writable PDF solution was a temporary solution. The overall goal was to actually go electronic. And that's where the accreditation tool came in. So in 2013, ARC introduced the accreditation tool, and this is a web-based application that provides you access to your change requests, which they are now called, and mostly in an electronic format. You can actually access the change requests through the tool and submit them through the tool. Now, with the accreditation tool, there were some limitations. One of the main limitations was that not all of the applications were accessible through the tool or in a electronic format. Some of those applications remained in a writable PDF format out on ARC's corporate website. So for those changes, you actually had to go outside of the tool to access or to gain access of those applications, fill them out, and either mail them or fax them to ARC for processing. So you weren't able to access those applications through the tool, nor were you able to submit them through the tool. So it was kind of a outside process for the paper form or PDF format. So this brings us to today, the new and approved accreditation tool, which was launched yesterday. So why did we transform the accreditation tool? Well, we wanted to improve and streamline how you work, and also how you work with ARC. You know, we wanted to provide efficiencies and a greater user experience. Now, you know, filling out and submitting change requests, that is something that you periodically need to do. However, that's not what you're in the business for. So we wanted to kind of improve this process so that you could spend your valuable time, running your business. So some of the key benefits of the accreditation tool is that it is flexible. It provides you with more control of your change requests. It's less time consuming. It's more efficient, allowing you to complete your change requests and submit them a lot quicker. So some of the key features of the new tool is that it is one tool. So one tool provides you with access to all of your change requests, whether they're in an electronic format or if they're still in a paper or PDF format. Self-servicing. Some of the change requests no longer need approval from ARC. So some of the change requests, you can actually update the accreditation tool with your changes, and those updates will take effect immediately without requiring approval from ARC. So not all change requests, but there is a number of change requests that you could do yourself without needing approval from ARC. Knowing the status of a request, as soon as you submit a request through the tool, you'll know the status of the request. When you submit the request, immediately it's going to go into an under review status. Once the request has been assigned to an accreditation specialist, you'll not only know who it has been assigned to, but you'll have their contact information, their email address. So you'll know who it's assigned to. So if you need to, contact them. And then as they are working on the request, if they change the status, let's say they need additional information, you'll be able to identify that status. Once it's approved, you'll see the status change to approved. So along the process, you will know, the different statuses of that request. And then last, you have instant communications. So with each request that you submit to ARC, to the accreditation specialist or reviewer, you are able to communicate with them. So if you have any questions regarding the request, you can send them an instant message through the request, and they will receive that request immediately in real time, and vice versa. The reviewer or accreditation specialist, they are able to send you a message through the tool as well. And in addition, the accreditation specialist, they can initiate an email to you through the tool. So every time they send you an email that is initiated through the tool, you'll be able to view a history of that email. Now, one of the things that you will notice when you launch the new tool is the user interface. The user interface has a totally different look and feel than the old system or old version has. It's easy to navigate within the system. We have improved the user experience. You'll notice that ARC's brand is well present throughout the tool. And when I talk about ARC's brand, this is beyond, seeing ARC's logo. you'll notice that, ARCS has consistent color schemes, our color schemes, as well as our font styles and layouts are consistent throughout the tool. So when you're in the tool, you'll know that, hey, this is an ARC tool. And, you'll probably, say that, the look and feel is, kind of similar to, our, corporate website or my ARC. So again, ARC's brand is, is there throughout the tool. Oops. So to access the tool, accessing tool is very easy. As you do today, you'll access the accreditation tool through MyArc. Once you log in, you'll just go to your tools section and select the accreditation link. Now, as a temporary step, you will be required to do a two-step authentication, where once you log in to MyArc and select the accreditation link, you'll be asked to log in a second time, and you'll use your MyArc credentials. And again, this will be temporary until we get to a true single sign-on. So what devices can you use to access the tool? Well, you're able to use your traditional desktop and laptop computers. However, you can now access the tool using your tablet, such as your iPad, or also your smartphone, maybe your iPhone. So if you're on the go and you need to access the accreditation tool, you can access it easily through your different devices. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to turn it over to Marvy and Stacy to see if there are any questions before we actually go into the demo.
Hey, Daryl, just one question. I guess there's want to be clarification regarding the requests that are self-service versus the ones that need approval from accreditation.
Right. So for those requests or updates that are self-servicing, once you make those changes, they will update immediately. And some of these self-servicing requests would be your bank account change, if you're updating your agency contact, maybe like your debit memo contact, address change if you're changing your address, that is self-servicing. Your agency contact information, such as telephone number and web address, that is self-servicing. Those that still that need approval is if you're doing an ownership change, you'll still need approval from ARC there. If you're another one, I believe, if you're doing a branch, adding a new branch, you'll still need approval. But when you're doing a self-servicing, you'll know immediately, because when you make the change, you'll get a message indicating that the change has been made or it has been updated successfully, and then you'll actually see that change take place on the actual request screen. For those that need ARC's approval, a request will actually be generated, and you would actually have to submit that request for processing. Any other questions? Thanks,
Daryl. Okay, and yep, another question. Can the accreditation tool be accessed via an Android phone?
And I'm going to ask Marvy, and I believe so. That's a smartphone. I haven't tested it on a Android. I use an iPhone, but I believe so. But I just will verify with Marvy that is the case.
Yes, it is available through mobile, both the Apple and Android, and tablets as well.
Great. Any other questions?
For now.
All right, so I am going to go ahead and go into the demo. I'm actually using a test environment, so the data may be a little bit different. All right, so to access the tool, you'll go through My ARC. I'm already logged into My ARC, and so you'll, under the Your Tools section, you'll just click the accreditation link. And again, initially, you will go through you'll have to log in again by re-entering your My ARC credentials. My user access is internally, so I'm just going to go ahead and go directly to the tool. So when you launch the accreditation tool, depending on your agency and your access, you will either come to a home offices and branches page, which will display all the locations, agency locations that you have access to. If you are a single entity, or if you only have access to one location, you're going to immediately go into your agency profile page. So I have access to multiple locations, so all of my locations are displayed. So I would actually have to specify which location that I want to go into. Now, depending on how many locations that you have access to, you may want to, you could do a search for that location. So instead of scrolling down to find the location, and in the search text box, you could do a search by ARC number, your agency name, and the city in which the agency is located. For me, I only have access to a few locations, so it would be easier for me to actually click the location box that I want to go into. And then once you select your location, you'll navigate to the agency profile page. Now, the agency profile page is going to provide different information about your agency. The agency profile page is made up of different sections. The first section is basically your general information section, and that includes your agency information, company contact, and address. So your agency information section is going to have your ARC number, your legal name, your DBA name, your agency's participation date, the status of your agency, agency type, and participation type. The company contact information is going to include your phone number, your agency's phone number, and your website. Your address section is going to have your physical address, where you're actually located, and then also your mailing address. Now, depending on your agency, they may be the same. After the general information section, you're going to have your branches section, and your branches section is going to display any branch locations that you have access to. And if you want to go into the agency profile page of a specific branch, you could just click the branch name link, and that will take you directly into that location. Next, we have our agency contacts, which is going to provide you with your agency contacts. On the initial view, it's going to display up to 4 contacts. And you'll see I only have 2 that's displayed. That's the officer and the manager. Now, if I want to view all of my contacts, I could just click the View All link. And then that's going to display all of my contacts. And by default, they're going to be displayed by the contact role, such as officer. We have debit memo contact, chargeback, ARC pay, and manager. You can also display your contacts in alphabetical order by just clicking the alphabetical link. And then last, we have our bank account information, and that's going to be your ARC designated bank. So it's going to provide you with your bank name, the city and state in which it's located, the account number, and you see the account number is mask. And then also again, the city and state. And I'm just going to pause right here and ask Marvy a question. Marvy, I see there's 2 cities and states, and it's actually the first time I caught this.
Yeah, you are in UAT. So it's
Yeah.
a test environment. So there was probably a code that was not, you know, because we're still continue on working on some items. But yeah,
Okay,
just
great.
ignore that. Sorry about that.
All right, great, thanks. So that's the agency profile page. If you want to go into another agency location, just go back to the home offices and branches page by clicking the global header link at the top, and then that will display all of your locations, and you could choose the location that you want to go into. Now, from the from your agency profile page, you are able to make updates. So if I wanted to update the general information section, which includes agency information, company contact, and address, I could click the edit profile button, or by the company contact and physical address, I could click the pencil link, the pencil icon that is next to the heading. So I'm just going to click the edit profile button, and it's going to put these sections in an edit mode. And you'll notice that the agency information, the text fields are grayed out, meaning you're not able to make any immediate changes to the agency information section. You actually have to submit a change request. So to do that, you would just click the submit a change request link, and then that will then walk you through the process of creating an actual request that needs to be submitted to ARC for approval. Now, for the company contact, I am able to make changes here, make immediately changes. So for example, let's say I want to update my telephone number, the agency's telephone number. I could go ahead and type in the new telephone number. And then if we go down to the address, say I want to update the my physical address, I actually want to add a suite to the address. So at 300, suite 300. And then once I'm finished making my changes, I could I'll click the submit button, and you may have noticed that a green pop-up message came up indicating that my changes have successfully been saved. And if we go back down to the company contact, you'll see the phone number that I changed has been updated, and then also the address where I added the suite number has been updated. And these are self-servicing changes, meaning that the changes took place immediately, and approval from ARC was not needed. And you could also do the same for agency contacts by clicking the change agency contacts button. And then also the bank account by clicking the change bank account button. So that is your agency profile page. So I'm going to pause here to see if there are any questions.
Daryl, got a question about the approval letters. So will the system be issuing approval letters once a request has been approved?
And I'll let you, Marvi, answer that.
Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, all the changes except for the phone number and website, you will be receiving like confirmation letters via email, either immediate sent out by the system, or if it is something that needs approval from the accreditation or accreditation specialist, then there will be an email with the attached approval letter as well.
Right, great. Any other questions?
That's it for now.
All right, so again, that was the agency profile page. So now I'm going to move to the request page. And to get to the request page, just click the request link in the global header section. And then that will bring you to the request page. And the request page is going to display your agency name, your ARC number, and the city and state in which your agency is located. Below that, you have your change request section. Your change request section is going to have your legal name, your agency type, and then also a link where you could go back to your agency profile page for this location. And then you'll notice below that we have, there are little buttons at the end of the section, and these are your change request buttons. So you have your update agency profile, update roles and contacts, owner officer, bank change, add branch, bulk change, and other change. So you would click these buttons to begin the process of submitting a request. Now, the update agency profile, update roles and contacts, and bank change, and add branch. These can also be done on your agency profile page. So you have two options. You could do them, make those requests from your agency profile page or through the request page. The bulk change, you may not be familiar with that, but the bulk change allows you to submit a specific change that's going to be for multiple locations. So let's say if you're doing a DBA name change or a tax ID change, and you're doing it for maybe like 100 locations, you're able to upload a spreadsheet that contains those changes and submit those changes, that spreadsheet, actually create a request along with that spreadsheet electronically through the tool. Prior to this tool, you would actually have to email a spreadsheet to our accreditations team, and I believe that was going to Stacy, who would handle that. And then last, your other change button is going to be your manual requests. Those are going to be the requests that are still in a writable PDF format. By submitting this, by submitting the other change button, you're able to access and download the specific manual PDF form and upload it to the request. And I'm going to come back to some of these change requests a little bit later. So next we have our open requests, and your open requests are going to provide, your open request section is going to provide you with your 4 current open requests. So you'll see I have officer update, DBA name change, another DBA name change, and tax ID number. So for each request, it's going to provide you with the your case number that has been assigned to the request, along with your ARC number, and then also it's going to provide you with the status of the request. So you'll see for my officer update change request, the status is additional information requested, meaning that I need to provide additional information. And then the other 3 requests, you'll see that its status is under review. Now for each status, the status is going to be color coordinated to kind of help you differentiate between the different statuses. So you'll see the for additional information requested, the color is blue, orange. And then for the under review, the color is blue. And I think for a request that is approved, it's kind of a greenish color. So below your open requests, you have all requests. So all the requests that your agency has submitted will be listed under all requests, and the all requests section is going to display requests up to 39 months, as it does as it did in the old version. Your requests are going to be listed by the date that they were submitted, the case number of the requests, the ARC number, the type of the request, such as officer update, the submitter, the person who submitted the request, and the status of the request, such as under review. From your list of requests, you can actually sort them. Just go to the headers for each section and click the up arrow or the down arrow to sort. In the in the first calendar drop-down menu, just select the beginning calendar date, and then the next calendar drop-down menu, select the ending date to do a search by a date range. To go into a request, if you're going to want to go into an open request from the open section, just double click the box that you want to go into, the request box that you want to go into, or from the all request section, you could just double click the case number link. So I'm going to go into a request from my all request section. And then once I'm in the request, that's going to bring me to what's called the request details page. And the request details page is going to provide you with the type of request. And you'll see this is officer update. And then my ARC number. Below that, I have the case number that was assigned to this case, the person who submitted the request, and then the reviewer, that is the accreditation specialist who has been assigned to this request or case. And you'll have their name as well as their email address. So if you need to contact them, you have their contact information. Next, we have the status box, which provides you with the date that the status was assigned, the actual status. You'll see additional information requested. And then also, if I want to view the history of this request, I could just click the view request history, and then that will take me to the history section of this page, which is located at the bottom of the page. Next, we have the comments section. So any comments that have been initiated within the case or request will be listed. So you'll see that I have one comment that was sent on the 16th of November, and you'll see the person who submitted it, and this is actually the accreditation specialist that sent it, and their message, and it says, please provide a cleaner copy of the document. And then you could actually initiate a message to this person, or respond to their message just by typing it in the text box. And just click the reply button. And then that message that I just sent, you'll see it is listed. Next, we have the email section. We don't have any emails associated with this request, but the email section will provide you with a history of any emails that was initiated by the accreditation specialist through the tool. So you'll see all the emails that they have sent to you. The next section is the attachments. If there are any attachments associated with this request, it will be listed. You'll have the file name link. And to display the attachment, just click the name link. Now, because additional information is required for this request, I have the ability to upload an attachment. And to do that, just click the attach file link. And then I could go ahead and search for the file I wanted to attach, and then go ahead and attach it. And then that file that I attach has been attached. And I'm just going to jump down to the request history. So the request history section is going to provide you with a history of this request. So you'll see that it started on November 16th, and the status was under review. And then also on November 16th, the status was updated to additional information requested. So once I've uploaded a document for the additional information that was required. So if I want to go ahead and submit this request, I could go ahead and do so by clicking the Submit for Approval button. And you'll see that it has now been submitted. And then if I go to my status box, the status has changed from additional information needed to under review. So the reviewer is now has this request to review. So I'm going to go back to the requests page. So from the request page, if you want to go ahead and initiate a request. So let's say I want to update my my bank account information. I'll click the bank change button. That's going to bring me to my bank account information section. And then here I'll be required to complete this information. So I'll provide my bank name, city in which the bank is located, and then also the state. The account number, and then confirm the account number. Oh, and I forgot to add the routing number. Let me go back up. And then last, you will provide the effective PED date. So the PED in which this change will be effective. And when you're selecting a PED date, it must be the next available PED up to 4 PEDs out. So you're not able to select the current PED. It must be the next PED up to 4 PEDs out. So I'm going to select the PED. The next available PED is the 29th. So I'm going to select the 29th of November. And then I'm going to go ahead and submit this request. And you'll saw that little green pop-up that came up to indicate that the request was updated successfully. And if I scroll down, so here is my new bank account information, and then that will take effect on PED November 29th. Go back to the request link. So let's say I want to submit a request that is still in a paper format. So I'm going to go to Other Changes, click the Other Change button, and that's going to bring me to the Other Request page. And if I go to the Other Manual Change Requests, under Step 1, I'll be required to select the requests that I want to submit. So let's say I want to do a tax ID number change. So I'm going to select that. And then once I make my selection, it's going to prompt me to download the form. So I'll click the link. And so here is the PDF form, and then I will be required to fill this out. So let's say I filled that out. Once completed, I could go ahead and upload that form. So go down to step 2, click the upload completed form link, and then search for that form, and then attach it to the request. And then once you're finished, you could go ahead and submit this for approval, or you could go ahead and save it. So if you need to come back to it, you could save it and then, revisit it, or just go ahead and send it for approval. So I'm going to go ahead and submit it. And then once you submit it, a case will have been opened for this request. So it'll bring you to the request details page, which is going to provide you with the name of the request, tax ID, number change, your ARC number, and then you'll see there is a case number assigned to this request. Now, because I just submitted this request, you'll see that it has the person, me, who submitted the request, but under reviewer, you're going to see that the reviewer is change request queue, meaning that this request has been assigned, it's been put into a queue, and then once it's been assigned to an accreditation specialist, the reviewer will change from change request queue to the actual person who it has been assigned to. And then if you need to send the reviewer a message, just type it in the comment section and click reply. And if we scroll down to attachments, here is the PDF form that I attached to this case.
Daryl, this is Marvy.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a question that was brought up, is there a charge or a fee for request changes? So you might want to probably show a particular request that will trigger the system to show if that particular change has a needs a payment, needs an application fee or not. So yeah.
Yep, that was what I was going to do next. So let me go back.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let me go back to the request page. So let's say I want to update my owner or make an owner or officer change. So I'm going to click the owner/officer change button. And that's going to bring me to the owner and officer changes page. And then here's the owner and officer update section. And then step 1, I would need to select the type of owner or officer change that I want to make. So let's say I'm going to do a new entity with new owners. So I'm going to select that. Under step 2, I'm going to be required to download the form to make the specific changes. So here's the form that I need to complete. So let's say I filled that out. And step 3, I now need to upload it. Oops. So I've attached the form. And under step 4, I will be required to select the form of payment. So your form of payment would be credit card or check. And then if you select credit card, you'll be required to download the credit card payment form. And then if you select check, you would need to make sure you provide this information such as ARC number, case number. And then to actually see what the fee or cost is, you could just click the fee schedule to identify what the fee is for the specific request. So I selected check as the form of payment. So once I'm done, I can just go ahead and click the submit for approval button. And that will bring us to the request details page where a case has been opened for this request. And so you'll see the name of the request, or the request type, new entity with new owners, and it has my case number. It's currently under review because I just submitted it, and the reviewer, it's currently under the change request queue until it's actually assigned to a accreditation specialist. So that is pretty much the accreditation tool. It's pretty easy to use, very user-friendly. When you need to submit a request or make a change, the steps to do so is quite easy. Don't think it's very challenging. And hopefully you will find this new tool a lot easier to work with and the process a lot smoother. So I'm going to turn it back to Judy, Marvy, and Stacy to see if we have any questions.
Hey, Daryl, one more question. So for a home office with branches, and for them to see their branches, will they only be able to see active branches, or will they be able to see the ones that have been voluntarily canceled as well?
And I'm going to ask Marvy that.
Yep, I can answer that. So yeah, for the branches, if you have access to the home office, you will be able to see all the branches that you have that is related to that home office that you have access to. Right now, we're still continuously moving and activating all those branches, especially for home offices that have more than 10, 20, even hundreds of branches. We're still activating those, but eventually you will definitely see all those branches, and you will only see active branches. For this, you will not be able to see branches that you closed or voluntarily canceled, or not even branches that have been activated or that have been approved. If you submit like a new branch request, you won't be able to see that branch yet under the branch section until that gets approved by accreditation and gets activated, and that's the only time it will move under the all branches section.
So only active branches, no branches that have been closed or
yes, no branches that have been closed yet.
Perfect.
Good to know.
Any other questions?
Daryl, that's all I see for now.
All right. So I'm going to hand it back to Judy.
Thanks, Daryl, so much for a great presentation, and it's very exciting for us. The new agency accreditation tool did launch yesterday, and as Daryl just put up on the screen here, if you do have any questions once you do leave this presentation today and actually go to access the tool, please contact our customer care center by calling 855-816-8003, which is up on the screen here, or via email cccchelp@arccorp.com. As I said previously, this presentation will be located on our ArcCorp site under training. If you go to the training tab and go to the right-hand side of the screen, it will say on-demand webinars, and you'll be able to find it there. Also in our training area, I'm assuming, Daryl, we may be posting it there in the Knowledge Center.
Yeah. Also in the training area, we will host some videos there, but we will actually have a kind of multiple videos out there. So if you need to review specific functionality, you'll be able to find that under the training section on our corporate website.
Great, and that's under the training section, right, Daryl? And if you go to the Knowledge Center.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay, great. And as Daryl said, so this will be available, this recorded session that kind of gives you the soup to nuts. And as Daryl said, there will be specific ones too This will be located on Webinars on Demand, and the one Daryl was talking about would actually be in our training section on the site under the Knowledge Center. So, but keep those questions coming in. Like I said, you can contact our customer care. You can also email those to myself, jhoward@artcorp.com, and I'll make sure I get those to Daryl, Marvy, and Stacy to respond to. As always, we really appreciate the time that you've taken to spend with us and join us for this webinar today. Hope that you found it helpful. There will be an email coming out with a survey, and if you would take the time to fill out that survey, that would be really helpful for all of us here. And Daryl, a great warm thank you to you for presenting today, and to Marvy and Stacy for helping answer and asking those questions. Thanks, everyone, and hope you join our next webinar real soon. Have a nice rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.